All right, this is Professor Denholtz. I'm going to be demoing how to do problem 3 of Lab 1. And we can see that we have a regular rectangle with some circles that look like they're evenly distributed but different diameters, and that it's also rotated. Now, a few things that I would like to note about this. We have a base point where this corner starts. We know the length here is 4 and the length here is 6. We have this piece of information, which says 3 holes centered divided equally along long through corners. Now what it's saying is that if we were to draw a line from this corner to this corner, these circles would be evenly divided. And so what we're going to do is we're going to draw a line from this corner to this corner, and we're going to divide it in a way where the endpoints are going to be here, here, and here. And we're going to do that using the div command, because it's going to divide the line that we make going through the corner. Now, interestingly enough, there's 3 circles. That actually means that we're going to divide the line into 4 parts. There's the largest circle to the bottom right corner. There's the large circle to the mid circle. There's the mid circle to the small circle. And then there's the small circle to the upper left corner. So we actually want to divide it into 4. Now, we're going to do all that prior to rotating the object. We're going to rotate after we add those circles in. Then, once we do that, we'll finish up by adding in the center marks. So I'm going to start with a, with a rectangle. And let's see, rectangle. And I'm going to start it at 2, 2. Now, I have to move my screen because where I left off, it wasn't in the right position. And from there, we are going to move up by, we're going to move to the right for the opposite corner by 4 and then by 6. And you don't need to worry about dimensions so much, but I'm just going to check that real quick right now. So we have 4 going across. Sometimes it's just a good idea to do dimension checks. You don't need these if you're doing Lab 1. You might need them later on, but for Lab 1, you don't need them. And so that's good. So these are the right size. I'm going to remove them just for right now. And then we know that the 3 holes go through the upper left to the bottom right corner. So I'm going to draw a line here. Now you might notice that there is no line going through here. So why did I draw that line? Well, this line is something I'm going to use to construct the actual object. I call the construction line, many people in fact call the construction line. There is a specific type of construction line in AutoCAD, but for the purpose of this video, when I'm saying I'm making a construction line, I'm saying I'm making a line that I'm going to use to create the object, and then I'm just going to delete it afterwards. So we're just using it as an aid to construct the object, and then we get rid of it. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use this div command. So div. Then I'm going to select this object, and it's going to ask me the number of segments. Remember, we want 4 because then there's going to be 3 points where we could place the circle. So 4, enter. And now, if I were to delete this line, you can just see 3 dots. Now, being able to see those dots varies from basically your actual computer and the graphics, I believe. Some people will actually have them be invisible. Now, I'm not going to do anything with these right now. First, now that they're there, I'm just going to leave them there. I'm going to come back to them in a second. I'm going to begin by rotating this object. So let's rotate the object. I'm going to select everything, hit enter. It's going to ask for a base point. I want it to be this corner because that's where we're going to rotate the object. So I click that corner. And then here it's asking me the angle of rotation. And we could see from here that it's 15. And so I'm going to type in 15 and hit enter. All right, good. Now, if you can't see those dots, what I want you to do is use this command, ddp type. I believe it's the same as ptype. So ddp type. And this actually controls what you see for your points. So say you could choose any of them also. Say you choose a small circle. So now you should see those points. These are not actual circles. They represent a point in space. You can also choose other ways to represent your points. That's what the DDP type does. It's just how you're choosing to represent a point. Let's say you want it to be, actually, let's go with something. Yeah, actually that works fine. So now you could see that they're represented like this. And that's perfectly acceptable for placing down your circles because that's what we're using it for. So now that we have those, let's make some circles. So we know that the first one is 0.25 in diameter, then 0.5 and 1. So they're all circles defined by their diameter. So we have a circle where it's defined by the center and the diameter. We're going to drop the center over here, and then we're going to make the diameter 0.25 for the first one. Then we're going to drop the center here for the second one, make it 0.5, and do the same thing for the last one. We're going to make it 1. All right, good. So now we have all those circles placed down. And at this point, I want to remove the DDP type. It looks a little bit messy, so I'm actually going to go back to a dot, or you could do plane. Either of them are okay. And so this is our drawing. The one thing that we're missing is the center point. So I'm just going to do center and zoom in a little bit. And there you go. That is Lab 1, Problem 3.